another edition of I Often Wonder. It's your girl, Alexis. Yeah, we have to restart. I'm Alexis, aka Black Barbara Walters.
What's up, y'all? Welcome.
It's that nigga.
Why do you have to pause like that
Because he's
in between?
You gotta build up the anticipation.
What anticipation?
You know what I'm saying? You have to build up to it. You can't just say, hey, it's that nigga. You'll be like, dun.
Okay,
It's that
and we have special guests today, Jax and Talib, because he's just weird. All right. Today's episode.
It's just a build-up, bro.
It's not a build-up. Please don't entertain it. Today's episode is on is monogamy in a relationship a dream?
Lamar.
Lamar, your thoughts?
I mean, I think this is a case-by-case situation. I mean, me personally, yeah, I can, but I mean, it's at the end of the day, women and men think different. Like, we just do.
So what does
Your answer ain't up there.
I just feel like testosterone is like a birth defect. It makes something wrong with y'all, right? Because pray for y'all strength in the Lord.
No, I just feel like, I mean, I'm not expecting us to agree. I just think men be simple and just.
Simple-minded, that's correct.
See, he didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm simple, like, yo, I'm chilling, like, if I'm chilling, I'm, like, women sometimes take it like, oh, you're not talking, or you don't like me, you're like, come on, man, I ain't even say all that.
Come on, bro.
Now, I'm just saying, it's just like, sometimes it's just that misfire, especially when it comes to communication.
So today we're talking all about men, women, communication.
And miscommunication.
Very
the number
important.
one cause of divorce in this country is miscommunication. And there are a lot of divorcees going on. Mm-hmm. And so you need to learn how to translate men, women speak.
Okay, because I might say something and Ryan might think something completely different,
whoa.
right?
That's exactly right.
Hold on, Teresa. So
Oh.
what are some
we
of
have
those signs that you
conflict
see?
already.
Yeah, hey,
We have conflict already.
How about eye contact? That's
Eye
important.
contact. Well, women like to use a lot of eye contact. It means you're engaging with someone, you're paying attention. Men, not so much. So men will be listening, but the woman may not believe it. So
Like, hey, what are you doing?
That's exactly why do you hear it. Did you hear what I said?
Put your
Are you
phone down
listening
for a
to
second.
me? Are you listening to me? The guy is listening to you, usually.
I don't think the guy is listening.
Well,
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, men, we communicate the way we do. I'm not saying it's the best, but, you know.
We said, can the church say amen? Preach, my sister. Y'all can't even spell communicate, let alone do it.
Right.
But hey,
I mean, I ain't gonna say all of us.
Y'all
I
can
mean,
even
not
answer a simple question.
all.
I mean, I'll admit, majority of us men can't communicate.
But then love
Please say that louder.
Nah,
Look at what's in the back.
I mean, because I mean, like, there's times where, you know, I might slip up and not communicate everything fully, but, you know, when you've been with a person for a minute, you know, sometimes it's like certain things you feel, I guess certain things don't need to be said, but I guess to keep working on shit, I guess you gotta constantly communicate. That's
so
what I'm learning.
can you be monogamous if you're communicating? You think that helps you be monogamous? If y'all have a mutual understanding of one another and y'all both have been honest about that, do you think that makes it easier?
I mean, I'm monogamous because I go to work and I go to home. I ain't sensational.
So you not because you'll have an opportunity.
Right. No,
I'm not open to an opportunity.
Not because me personally, that's just not my mind frame. It's like, my focus is just trying to, like, build that fam. Like, I'm trying to build something great. So, like, me chasing other females, it's in the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I got in a relationship, totally different motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even worry about that. But, like, I have been so single for so long.
Right.
You know, I didn't build up, like, years just doing whatever the fuck I want to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I might have a little fucking lazy eye. I might look a little to the left, a little to the right. You're not straight ahead sometimes, but, you know.
What's that?
Again, your attention span. Focus back here.
You like a dog that see a squirrel, cuz.
I can.
I mean, but you know, just my mind frame. I'm not into like that. That's not me no more. Because I got so much I got depending on me. Like.
Now, Corey, are you in a relationship?
Yeah, I'm married sometime.
Right.
Sometimes, bro. Yeah.
Now, what does married sometime mean, Corey Holcomb?
Man, you know, we get into it, but we got more like a realistic type of thing. You know, we don't always have to sleep in the same room just because we live there.
Right.
All right.
You know what I mean? I got some rules that I feel like I could sell to most couples.
Really
you know
don't.
what I mean?
Now, let me tell you, man. Now, I'm married. I'm about 7 years married. I have 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Now, is there anything that you could tell me from now, or is there anything that you could tell people either don't do it or do it this way? Let's say somebody want to get married. Is there anybody in here that's engaged? Anybody in a relationship? Who's in a relationship in here? All right, step on up to the microphone right here. Now, how long you been? Your name once again is?
Monica.
Monica, how long you been in your relationship?
4 years.
4 years. All righty. Now, he hasn't proposed to you yet?
No, but he's gave me a ring.
He's giving you a ring? What kind of ring?
A promise
A promise ring. All right, so 4 years.
The time buyer ring.
Yes, the time buyer ring. You know, and how much time do you get out of that kind of ring?
It depends on the young lady. Some young ladies are used to something that, you know, the standards are high, and some are set low. I always tell guys you have to go for the cute girls and real bad financial situations. Right. Because some girls just don't know a lot. The other day I took this girl, she's real poor. I took her to Red Lobster. She's like, I heard about this place. I tell, like my sister was telling me about, I think he cheating over me. I was like, is he good to you?
Right.
Well, you won.
Right. So you telling your sister it's okay for her man to cheat?
I think it's unrealistic to tell like women that you love, like your sister, your daughter, whoever.
Right. Oh, Lord.
Oh, man, you need to get away from him if he going to be out here cheating, because that would make most guys a hypocrite.
Right.
Let me tell you something. I had a woman who was my friend, and I lived with her, and nothing ever happened. But if you saw her, it would all explain itself.
Hey, do you suggest every man have a side girl?
Yes.
There you go, bro.
I think it's unrealistic to just be with one lady unless you are elderly.
Right. Now, do you allow your lady to have a side guy?
That's insane.
Right, okay.
That's an abomination.
Right, okay, all right. Would you, if you see a girl that thinks she's all that?
When your woman cheats, something wrong.
Yeah,
Y'all need counseling.
Yeah.
When your man cheats, you just got to let that go and get a couple of outfits.
Increase your purse game.
Right, you know?
So you're basically saying that it is possible for men to be...
Oh, don't get it twisted.
Okay, but also, this is my feeling. It's a choice. And you're actively choosing to be monogamous. I can cheat on whoever I want to if I so desire. I choose not to. I feel like there's a difference between anybody has a desire for anybody else. It is a lot of attractive people out here in the world.
This is
you
true.
can look at it, you can enjoy it. But if you choose to act on it, then that's the problem. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you can't be monogamous, is because they choose to make excuses for it.
No, I feel you on that. Because I think it does come down to choice. Like, you should, if you want to make it a monogamous relationship, you should choose not to be living out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I still think at the end of the day, we just so simple. Like, come on, man. I just think women, y'all. I'm trying not to lump all y'all in the same group, but it's the majority.
So you think monogamy is easy for us?
Okay, because y'all do cheat.
But I'm saying, do you think it's easy for us? Like, you think it's easy for us?
y'all, because I think you guys are more emotionally involved.
It's not easy. It's not easy. There's a lot of this. It's like, y'all see attractive women, I've seen attractive men. And then here's my thing. I can tell a guy, I've told guys before, when I was in a relationship, I have a boyfriend. And they literally going, what does that have to do with me? So if I chose, and there's been times they've been attractive, I'm like, you call me a couple months ago, baby. But
they on standby.
Okay.
So you said standby?
But that's what I'm saying. So it's temptation for everybody every day. I just feel like women are more firm in their choices when they say, I'm going to be faithful. Now I know women cheat, men cheat. I know it goes both ways, but for me, I feel like it's just as much temptation for men as it is for women. I just feel like guys choose to be like, oh, it's hard out here to be faithful.
And I don't doubt that. What I'm saying is that I just think, especially because I just don't want to say that being monogamous has 100% relation with sex, but just with sex, women are just more emotional to it. So like, y'all not prone to just throw the cookies out because y'all feel like it's something treasurable.
Nah, some women are.
Nah, I didn't say
Some women be like, oh, you got, okay, meet me right here at 8 o'clock. I got you
but
covered.
I'm saying though, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that's why I feel like it's for y'all like more easier.
But that's why I think that it could be hard for guys because of those women. There are those women who are out there like, come get this box.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, I just said I got a girl. Okay, she ain't gotta know. So it's like temptation. It's like, well, you wanna go ahead? Let's go ahead. But it's sad that that's a mindset of someone to be with someone else's man. Like, get your own. It's a whole bunch of people out in this world. You ain't gotta use somebody else's.
I don't like share.
I mean, me and my ex broke up because a girl told him she didn't have no problem being his little secret. She said, I will hide out and come out when you call.
Oh,
verbatim words.
What is her
so that's what I'm saying.
What's her
like,
number? Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
my dad. This is my dad.
I'm
But that's what I'm
supposed
saying.
to be in my head. I'm sorry.
When does anything that's in your head stay in your head?
Yeah, you're supposed to hold that.
You don't have no filter.
None.
But I just feel like I agree with Ty. Like, it's a lot of women and men who are okay with being number two, okay with being in the shadows, and then it makes it hard for women and men who are like, I'm committed to you, be committed to me. And it's just like, when there's so many other people who don't have morals, who don't have standards, or who just feel like, well, I'm young and I can be reckless, it's a lot more temptation for that, especially now, like people my age, like this social media, all these options, like you can find anybody in any second, any time.
Which is weird.
I'm about to say, because we were having that discussion beforehand. Think about it, like right now, everybody's on quarantine. So if you don't have somebody, and even if you have somebody, y'all not necessarily in the same area. So it's so easy for you to hop on something like Plenty of Fish or...
Yeah, but quarantine messing up a new booty. You know what I'm saying?
No, not if you,
like,
not really, because you're...
you know what I'm saying? I don't go mess with nobody else. They might have that virus. So I'm like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What?
So you already know.
What's the problem?
Ain't nobody worried of, ain't nothing to
I'm worried about the virus.
You are, but there are a whole lot of other
It's
people
like
that aren't worried about
big
it.
back in the
This
day.
is no, but this is their
like slowing down for a second.
But this is their opportunity because nobody's working, nobody has to worry about schedules. They be like, oh, you at home, so let me go and roll up. Let me go and get over there.
Yeah, because my whole thing is I'm not dating at all right now, but I wouldn't dare because I don't know where you were prior to getting to my house. And if you either sneeze or you sniff or anything, you gotta go. I'm gonna Lysol you on the way out the door. I'm not even taking no chances with that. But some people, like, unfortunately, a lot of people let their libido lead their way, and they will be out here risking it all just to get some. And it's just like, I don't know, they got a lot of self-help options at the crib.
And then not only that, a lot of these sites, we were talking about it before. I caught it. I was moving past it.
I think Mel was like, I didn't need that.
She was like, that's still my baby girl. But we were talking about it before. Like you said, social media right now especially gives you so many options and ways. We were talking about POF earlier. All of a sudden, now they have a live button where you can live chat with people via there. And
if I'm in quarantine, I'm UG.
Hey, I'm used to finding chicks on Black Planet. Like, I don't know.
Did you say Black? Did you say Black Planet?
Bruh. Even there. That is so old.
Hey, y'all also got it good on this social media thing. I'm telling you, trying to get a female on Black Planet was like everything. I'm like, oh shit.
late at night, in the darkness, one person's hand moves over to tentatively touch the other's body in a way that signals a desire to initiate either sex or a cuddle, and nothing much happens in return. This move ends up being so much more fraught than one might imagine because it has so little to do with making love. It is about knowing that we are wanted. The willingness to initiate sex can appear like the litmus test of whether one is appreciated within the relationship as a whole, and therefore whether a couple remains a going concern or not. For one person never to initiate, or else merely to respond half-heartedly to caresses, is tantamount to declaring that they cannot possibly love the person they are with. In truth, a lack of initiation or response can mean many things. It may, at points, simply be a sign of exhaustion after a long day of childcare or work at the office. Sometimes an untouched hand is just an untouched hand. The real problem in the ambiguous darkness of the bedroom is not a lack of reciprocation per se. It is the way that that ambiguity is interpreted, the way that assumptions are formed without discussion and grave offences taken without the topic having first been aired. Beneath this lies a more pernicious problem still: shame. Unreciprocated touch becomes properly dangerous when it comes into contact with a high degree of self-suspicion or self-hatred on the part of the person who has dared to slide their hand across.
No.
Tell you. If you want to catch them at the mall or the movie theater, you better.
Yeah. No. Okay, so what are some pros to being monogamous?
Let's worry about STDs.
True. You kind of took the words right out of
That's number one for me.
Because if you get something, you're like,
I know exactly.
Where to go.
So what's her name? Who was you dealing with?
Yeah, we need to talk.
Fuck
you been doing?
I'm giving you hands and feet.
Because I'm going to jail that day. And call y'all, be like, hey, I need a bond.
I mean, a pro monogamy. I mean, like, if you find like a person that you like can gel with, and y'all don't get on each other's fucking nerves, it might turn into something special.
But I feel like at some point the other person's always gonna be on your nerves. Either you're gonna learn to love it.
Yeah, but I can be okay with like you get on my fucking nerves and I love the shit out of you, but like you just get on my nerves. Yeah, that ain't gonna be a good combination. So I mean, let's just say it depends on that connection part.
But the question is, do you think that people are really looking for that connection? Because if you think about it, the the way that a lot of our grandparents and their parents were brought into the world, you know, no matter what the issue was, you stayed with that person, you learned to be faithful just to that person, you learned to grow with that person.
Yeah, say a what?
And
you do me dirty, I'm out the door.
Carter said I got it for everybody. I don't take care of everything. That value isn't there anymore. So do you think that has any kind of play on what it requires for you to be monogamous nowadays?
I don't know, because I mean, you talking about so many different people out there in the world that's gonna have so many different views.
So my idea on that is vows are vows. Like it's like my thing. So if you talk about marriage, because I know a lot of people. I know a lot of other people who there was infidelity. They stay married. They've been married 50-some years, and everything wasn't peaches and cream.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're married and you decide not to be monogamous, I just hope you know you ready to split half, my brother. I'm out. Yeah. Because I take vows very seriously. Same. That is a union between me, you, and God. Like, not only are you doing me dirty, you're doing my God dirty, but you gotta go. Like, you gotta dismiss yourself. So in that sense, yeah, I'm not gonna forgive you for that. I'm sorry. Because I take that as being, even just being in a committed relationship, I take that as a huge sign of disrespect. I take that as a huge side of you not being committed to me, that you're not loving me the way that you've been telling me you love me. So for me, there's always going to be that feeling like doubting you, questioning you. I don't have time for that. There's so many other people out here in this world that attack you that you can't trust and lean on. So for me to sleep next to the enemy in a sense, for what? I'd rather go out work and side-eye Susan and look at you in the bed.
Not side-eye Susan.
Okay, so I just lost my whole question.
And that side-eye Susan threw everybody off.
It did, because I had a full question.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna lay next to you. I gotta do that.
So, okay, so what do you guys feel on, you've gotten into a committed relationship with someone, and you're on the verge of literally you're planning your wedding, okay? It's the ultimate sign of being monogamy. This is the one person you want to be with, and that person tells you, I can't be in a monogamous relationship anymore.
I think that time was why you went to now and say it. Yeah. I mean,
but do you know that was actually what happened with right? Because I don't put all this time and now I don't put this money out. That actually happened with Neo.
Oh, okay.
Neo was with, I can't remember her name, but the mother of his 2 kids. She is. She's very cute.
Oh, yeah, the one who got a tube tied for him?
Yes.
Baby! My kids would have visited me at the correctional facility.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've invested all this time, you have now, like in her case, she's now sacrificed her complete body by tying her tubes. Mm-hmm. And literally weeks before y'all supposed to get married, you call it off and say that you can't be in a monogamous relationship anymore. Like, you use those terms. And then the next thing, you're now getting engaged and with somebody else, and you actually.
But to throw this in there, if you said that at the coming up close to the wedding, they was never in his mind. They was never a monogamous relationship. In her mind, yeah.
Yeah, because for me, that seems like he thinks monogamy starts with I do. Because if you getting ready to get married and y'all looking, y'all tasting cake, he's like, oh. Wait a minute. So my mama told me when I said I do, I can't cheat on you no more. So I can't do this.
Right.
Then I think that's different because I agree. Like, he was thinking, oh dang, this is getting serious, and she's going to expect me not to cheat on her. That means he was doing something prior to that. Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, but I've been told by some of my homeboys that commitment don't start until she get the last name. I don't agree with that.
I was like, yeah, no.
At a certain age, I agree with it.
I mean,
at what age?
Because I'm 27.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. 27 is me trying to find my husband and my kids and in marriage. That's what you are looking for. So you should be looking for someone like that. But I'm saying like 18, 21, 22.
You're still
trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
So to be trying to be committed to one person is just like.
What you talking about? It don't stop. Shit don't stop.
Some days I'm like, ooh, I need to start over.
Today I don't like this version of me.
Yeah, this shit don't stop.
I don't know. I think that I was wondering where you gonna put your 2 cents. I'll let y'all talk. I didn't want to interrupt, but. For me, it's been like a thing that's been programmed in you anyway, you know, and it's like, I remember like some of the females when I was coming up, you know, they had the little princess story and the Prince Charming, that kind of thing, and I was already like in
fairy
the
tale
head.
shit, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? But I was in the head, you know, and then when I was coming up, you know, I was hung around older people. It was about all the women you can. You know, I remember like vividly, I was about 12, 13, and me and my boy, like I call my brother, and we was all talking and stuff. And his mom was there. She's like, yeah, you know, you get married. I said, I ain't never get married. You know, because that's something I just never thought. I was like, I ain't never get married. If I do get married, it'll be like 35, 36. I'm trying to get smashed as much as I can. That was my.
How old were you when you married my mom?
Listen, I was about to ask that same question.
21.
How'd that plan work out for you?
But I'm just saying, but that was like drilled in my head by the people I was around. So like, and I say that to make the analogy is that, you know, you have one group, one gender being taught one way, and another gender being taught another way.
But
so when you come together, those ideas maybe never match up because you already come together with two different ideas, two different mindsets.
But do you even think that the younger, and I say the younger, and I'm talking about after our generation, because they're the ones that have the issues. Do you think they're even really being taught that?
See, I think the younger generation, because the reason why I ain't thought about even wanting to do this was because I started listening to a lot of people, younger people, even some older people, but a lot of younger people more in general is saying that they don't think monogamy is possible. You know, so they're saying like,
you hear that a lot.
You hear that a lot now. It's like, how can I be just exclusively with one person? You know, it should be as many women as I can. I mean, I look at, he's not really young, but even Nick Cannon said, he's like, I got a lot of friends. I can't see myself getting married again.
Mariah messed him all the way up.
And he's like, I just how he is. So then like you said, Corey Holcomb, I listen to him say it a lot. So it's like, these are older guys. I'm just thinking about the people I heard saying it just recently.
I spend a whole lot of time talking about sex and almost no time actually having it. But I'm here today to talk to you about a serious subject. We are in a time of crisis. We have a global epidemic on our hands, and it's airborne. It affects the young and the old and knows no geographical bounds. Now, this problem is not unlike other widespread crises, the economy, climate change, for instance. But this crisis affects more of us in a more personal and perceptible fashion. It tears families apart. It takes the most detrimental toll on the most vulnerable among us. And it's contagious. It's spreading. Yet somehow we're captivated by it. I'm talking about the crisis of the modern monogamous marriage. When something doesn't work, when anything doesn't work, we innovate. So why do we accept the monogamous marriage in its current form despite its design flaws? Could our relationships not benefit from a stimulus package? A temporary recall? Just overnight. Isn't it time we go back to the lab to dissect the issues, challenge the failing norm, and innovate? Now, some couples have already done this. They reject monogamy altogether. Swingers, for instance. I know a lot of them. Surprise, surprise, the sexologist says. They have sex with other people, and it works for them. Polyamorous have emotional, intimate, loving, and sexual relationships with multiple partners, and it works for them. And open relationships come in a huge range of forms that are custom designed by every couple, or threesome, or foursome, or moresome, however it comes. Now, I know many couples for whom open relationships have worked. Rosa and Dan, for instance, after 22 years of marriage, they said, something's gotta give. Their words, not mine. So they decided to open their relationship up, and now they have lovers across North America, and they couldn't be happier. But like monogamy, open relationships only work for a very small number of people, an estimated 4 to 5% have tried it with a good degree of success. The problem with open relationships is that most of us just don't want one. We're okay with other people being open, but we don't want to share our partners. Happily ever after with one true soulmate has been too firmly ingrained in our subconsciousness since birth. Let's use monogamish to take the monotony out of monogamy in a way that preserves the sanctity, the safety, and the comfort of our relationships. So monogamish, what might this look like? Well, monogamish couples might look to extramarital sources for sexual stimulation, but only in thought, not in action. So if I'm monogamish, there might have been a volunteer backstage that was kind of cute. So I took a second look. Hope I didn't make him uncomfortable. Never making him uncomfortable. I might have had a break and thought about him a little. I might think about him later tonight. But I'm never going to act upon that thought. And this thought, and thoughts like it, that are forbidden in so many monogamous relationships, admitting to this thought serves to further stabilize my relationship. Because when we put these forbidden thoughts out in the open, we serve to reduce their power, and we decrease the likelihood that we'll actually act upon them.
You know, it's like they can't see how it's even possible. You know, even Zoe was saying it on the show, Zoe Williams, he was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of these guys I'm hearing more and more talking about how monogamy is impossible.
But do you also think that comes with status?
What you mean?
With status. Because I think it's harder for you to be monogamous if you have more status and more money.
I mean, that could be a part of it. I mean, you know, when you broke.
You said it was hard for you to be monogamous.
No, I guess he's saying new guys are more
that.
known, they got more stuff thrown at them.
Oh, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
so,
your name and your face is out there. You know.
You know. So, I mean, that
they see you as a
I know it's average dudes out here that's, low budget men, I'm gonna call them that, who out here not being faithful either. But I also think there's temptation on both levels, but I think it's more pronounced the more status, the more money, the higher caliber of guy you are considered. Mm-hmm. So I think that's hard for some people, but for me,
it shouldn't matter.
I just feel like it shouldn't matter because I feel like women face the same amount of temptation. I don't feel like okay, for example, you're my dad, you raised me, you didn't tell me I need a man to save me, Prince Charming, and that I do everything for myself, by myself, and if I call a dude, I call my dad or my brother. Right. So I don't want no parts of no dudes doing nothing for me. Like, I can do it by myself. Mm-hmm. So women like me, it's like, okay, cool. I understand there's temptation out there. Let's be open. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. And then guys still be out here doing what they want to do and then getting mad. Then if I leave, then, you ain't going to let me through thick and thin. Negro, you crazy? I put out the standard. I let you know what it was. You broke that, so I'm going to go. I told you. Cause and effect.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. No, because that was kind of pretty much my thing is as long as y'all set the standard, the rules and the boundaries of the relationship, you either get with it or keep it moving.
Yeah. I mean, then you look at, my background, younger, I was more like in the streets hanging out. I got older, we started going to church, and then I got married at a young age, so then now that mindset kind of shifted because now you're talking about a more monogamous family type, teaching being presented to you. So now you're more presented about marriage being, part of the Bible and having a family. Adam and Eve was the first family, so you was taught that, and you was taught that you should. How even thinking about fornication is a sin, and all those things were taught to you. So now your mindset getting to shift because you're learning something new, something different, and you're trying to do right. As you start your family and stuff. And then as I got older, not to say I'm torn. I guess that's the best way I can say it. I'm kind of torn now because as I start studying more things, and I ain't trying to go down a religious rabbit hole, but I start studying more things. It's like, okay, even some of the things they were telling me wasn't quite right. So then how much of that was not right? You know what I'm saying? Was the monogamy thing wrong too? Not to say, and I'm not saying it is, it's not. I'm just saying that as I begin to study and learn more, it started opening up more questions. And then now you start to think, okay, now which one is it? And then from a psychological thing, you got one study that says that it's something that that's innate in us. Because we are communal people in general, and the nature the maternal instincts in the mother is something that's innate in her, and the father instincts in the father is something innate in him. And so those things naturally want to come together to help build something, build a family, raise a child, those type of things. And so you got other studies that say that we are balanced on both sides and we go either way. You know, the ability for us to be non-monogamous is in us too, and the ability for us to be monogamous is in us. So then which one is right?
I agree with that one. Like I said, it's a choice.
Yeah.
You know, at a certain point, you know the difference between right or wrong. You know, if you're in a relationship with somebody that's communicating, you know what your options are, you know what the rules are, so you make a choice. You choose if you want to be monogamous or not. That's why when I am very picky now as an adult, like about being in a relationship with somebody, because I know what kind of sacrifice goes into that.
Right.
Because I know if I'm in Publix and it's a sexy man in aisle 3, I can't talk to him because I'm in a relationship with somebody. So like, I think that's the point of it. They should sponsor us so much as I'm in there. But
I saw in Public, boy, that black lady had a behind that was so big. My God, that man looked like a Spalding. I was like, can I just bounce it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, help me.
I'm gonna join y'all therapy session. I'm gonna join. But I wanted to hit back on something you said.
Behind the crackers like this.
The new version of the Creep Squad. These two niggas. I wanted to hit back on something you were saying with the church. Because I feel it was taught that way to cover up.
Yeah, that too. I agree with that.
Because even nowadays, you've got a lot of people.
Now you mean cover up far as
to cover up the ones that are not being monogamous.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah.
Because you've got a lot of, and not all preachers, not all deacons and whatnot, but you have a lot of them who are married, but are hollering at every young girl that comes to the church secretly, supposedly. So it goes back to the value. What is the value that we're teaching people? What is the value that we're showing? Because it doesn't have to be an open conversation, but it's about what these younger kids are seeing.
Right.
And that goes into what they're seeing on TV. You got shows like, I don't know if it's still on the air, but like Sister Wives. There's nothing monogamous about that.
Break that down about Sister Wives. I heard of it. Like, I ain't really seen it.
So,
like, give me the premise of it.
A man has more than one wife, and they're called sister wives. Like, they do everything together.
They kick it
like Big Love.
Yeah, like it's.
Damn, I love women, man. Damn, 7 of y'all in my house. God.
He don't even look happy. That's the worst part about it.
Right.
I seen the episode and he looks stressed all the time.
Because you got to take care of this one that likes this certain things this way, and then this one that no, it's too much.
That's too much.
But I mean, then you got some cultures that believe that that's okay. That like there are some African cultures that be like, okay, I'm gonna marry this one, but then I see this girl, so I'm gonna marry this one. She's gonna be my sixth wife, and I'm gonna marry that one. That's gonna be my seventh wife, and we're all gonna cohabitate in the same place. No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna shoot all the rest of them and you.
Why can't
at the end of the day?
Like on a day, like you be my Monday bitch.
No. Because if I'm not show every day.
It's a joke. I'm fucking around. I was just fucking.
Why do we cheat? And why do happy people cheat? And when we say infidelity, what exactly do we mean? Is it a hookup, a love story, paid sex, a chat room, a massage with happy endings? Why do we think that men cheat out of boredom and fear of intimacy, but women cheat out of loneliness and hunger for intimacy? And is an affair always the end of a relationship? For the past 10 years, I have traveled the globe and worked extensively with hundreds of couples who have been shattered by infidelity. There is one simple act of transgression that can rob a couple from their relationship, their happiness, and their very identity, an affair. And yet, this extremely common act is so poorly understood. So this talk is for anyone who has ever loved. Adultery has existed since marriage was invented, and so too the taboo against it. In fact, infidelity has a tenacity that marriage can only envy, so much so that this is the only commandment that is repeated twice in the Bible. Once for doing it, and once just for thinking about it. So how do we reconcile what is universally forbidden, yet universally practiced? Now, throughout history, men practically had a license to cheat with little consequence and supported by a host of biological and evolutionary theories that justified their need to roam. So the double standard is as old as adultery itself. But who knows what's really going on under the sheets there, right? Because when it comes to sex, the pressure for men is to boast and to exaggerate. But the pressure for women is to hide, minimize, and deny.
Done. So here's my thing. So number one reason, well, for me, one of the main reasons why I am faithful in relationships because sexual transmitted diseases. Mm-hmm. Number two, I'm lazy. It's too much work to cheat. My God, like
I gotta keep up with this lie. I remember I told you and promised you.
Seriously, and that's why I think that's why people get caught up because it's so much work. Listen, bro, I'm at home. I'm not gonna be out here doing the most with these other fools. I don't have time. Then he answers, and I'm just my phone vibrating. I'm looking at you. Why vibrating? I don't know who that is. Lynn calling me. That's Todd.
But it's saved under such and such. No, that's just a coworker from my job.
So much work, like between working, being in school, family, like trying to get my own stuff together, physically, spiritually, all the other things. I don't have time to add one more person's crap onto my plate. Even if it's just for like 30 minutes, a little bump and grind, it's still too much work. Like, I'm far too lazy to cheat. Like, Jesus. Like, even thinking about it, I'll just be like, and when guys holler at me, I'll be like, you know how much work this gonna be?
Like, do you know what you are signing? Do you know what you are signing up for?
I can't do it. I can't even do it for you, brother. Today, find somebody else who got time and energy because I don't.
Listen, for those that do cheat, I don't condone it, but y'all got a special skill because I can't keep up with this lie and that lie and
date plans and what?
What I told.
I'm gonna call your mama the wrong name. Like, I mean, mixing up your sisters and brothers. I don't have time for that. Like,
you said your favorite food was seafood. I'm allergic to shrimp.
That's Derek, okay?
Now you got a nigga laid out in your kitchen floor.
Damn. Well, I just get this. I'm gonna get your EpiPen.
You said that was in your book bag?
Oh, this is hilarious.
I don't know. I can't. But then you gotta think about it too. You got a lot of people who they'll start off saying, yeah, I could be committed to one person. And then I won't even say a week later, you see them talking to somebody else. Like, that makes my head hurt just thinking about it right now.
Because people cannot be honest with themselves, therefore they cannot be honest with you. That's the main thing. I think that's the biggest problem. If you can't be honest with yourself about what you want short term and long term, then you can't be honest with nobody else about that. When I enter any situation, this is why dating me is terrible. I'm so sorry. Whoever's next. Multiple reasons. But once we get to the, the green, the grass, whatever, it's cool. But dating initially, I am so standoffish. I'm so unavailable because I don't have time. Like, I need you to be open and honest with yourself.
Nigga gotta break down the Great Wall of
China
to get over
because my whole thing is
I can't say anything because I'm the same way. My sister. But see, what's so funny is because they're sisters, that's exactly how me and my sister are. My sister be like, I don't understand how these dudes deal with you.
Every time I brought a guy home, my dad's been like, "You sure? You okay? This is what you want? Nice to meet you. You tough?" Because I'm like, Because my whole thing is I have my own life. I have my own things to deal with. So if I'm deciding to open up that door, you need to be on the up and up. Like, because if you're not, I will close it, lock it, shut it down. Like, I don't have time for that.
She's serious. Because I mean,
I am.
She got a whole beat going on the chair.
Because like it's just like it's so frustrating when people tell you one thing and they live in something else. It's just like, or you could just leave me out of it. Because like I have my own life, I have my own world. So involving you in that and you want to not do what you say you were going to do, it's a waste of time. And because I'm pro-violence. Like, then we got problems. So I'm like,
I mean, I go off of people's actions.
Yeah, me
People
too.
can say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah,
it's what you do.
Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah, but I think some people also fail to realize that if I open that door, because my life is already hectic enough, if I open that door, that's a level of trust that I'm giving you to come into my circle. Mm-hmm. And for you to act like you ain't got no home training, and for you to act like, you know, you're pretty much slapping me in my face. Because if I bring a guy over to my godparents' house,
it means something.
Yeah, because I don't bring people around them.
Yeah.
One, I don't bring people around them because both of them are preachers. I ain't got time to explain a whole bunch of crap. But two is
my friend in prayer.
Right. We have prayer meetings.
Yeah, Bible study.
Nobody on your knees all the time.
Okay. Is there still wine over there?
There it is. Which one?
The pink top, please.
You give me the other one because she gonna finish that.
Trauma.
Yes, this is why y'all get very wonderful conversation. You never know what's in the cup. Never know.
Mine's water. I just like this.
And let's be known, did y'all notice everybody else has the red Solo cups, but Jamel has to have his other cup.
I got Detroit Lions cup.
Whoop whoop. 313.
Represent.
I'm gonna make sure I bring my mug next time.
Got the Pistons hat on.
She got a Michigan shirt on. It's always tatted on me. Made in Detroit.
Listen, we love y'all Detroit folks. Y'all is a special breed.
Yeah, I'm special.
Special
You all pro violence.
If you've ever been in a relationship, you know relationships are hard. That's true for everyone. It's not so much committing to another person, but staying true to someone else. That seems to be a challenge for all of us. Social monogamy, the roommate part of your relationship, what my husband calls the hangout ability, the companionship, that's hard. Divorce rates are really high. But it's the sexual monogamy that is really tough. 25 to 60% of everyone will cheat at some point in their marriage. I know. That's a really wide range, first of all, 25 to 60%. And it's really hard to get infidelity statistics because affairs are based on dishonesty. So people lie to the researchers. Men brag about their affairs and women minimize their infidelity. So we don't even know if we can trust the statistics. So what do we trust? I can tell you what we do know. It used to be a lot easier to be married like 200 years ago. We were only living to be about 38 years old, and so you were married for an average of 15 years. You can live with anyone for 15 years. By the time you got bored, you were dead. And so now we're expected to live with someone for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70 years. Back then, it was a business transaction. You got married to have children, to help on the farm, to pass down your sheep. Today, we don't even need to get married. You don't need to get married to have sex. You don't need to get married to have children. You don't need to get married to get a mortgage or even to get health or life insurance. Marriage and monogamy are optional. And they're not an easy choice. Less people than ever before are married, and we get married later than ever before. And 98% of everyone has fantasies of someone other than their partner.
Okay, so do you guys feel that people not being able to be in a monogamous relationship is the reason why we have such a high divorce rate?
No, communication is number one reason for divorce.
That's
Communication
why
and money.
That's why I think before you start with somebody, you should let him put it on the table. I've learned that a long way. You gonna do it, let me be honest. I'm gonna nigga, let me tell you something. So such, you don't want to do this, keep pushing. I told you, you pick your thing, that's what you want to do, we're gonna stick it out. But I'm not about to play with you. It's grown to be playing with somebody.
But I think honesty is a key. You know, I started off, when I started off, you know, because I was always taught you gotta run game. You know what I'm saying? So I was running game. And so I presented.
Your game got old, and it was just, oh, well.
You know,
Be honest now. Gotta be honest now. Ain't got no other choice at this point. I'm just put my cards on the table now.
And so, you know, that's what you was taught. That's what you thought. And then as I got older and stuff, I just started thinking, just wanting something different. You know, wanted to change. Which one?
Can I ask you something? Having daughters, did you think that changed your mindset about dating?
I mean, having kids changed your mind.
I say for me, having daughters.
I mean, it changed my mind. But see, like my thing when I had girls is that I wanted them to be self-sufficient. That was my main thing because
I would say because you got two very
my thing is like, you know, you try to take away every element that a guy can use against you. You know, if you don't know how to do anything, it's like you said in that video sentence.
Oh yeah.
And so I understood what he was saying, but at the same time, you are making her not being self-sufficient because it's like, okay, she don't know how to pay anything, she don't know how it is. So what happens if you die?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or what happens if God just don't make it? You know, she has to be on her own. She don't know how to do anything. So I think that was my biggest thing was like teaching, you know, the girls how to be self-sufficient. I mean, the boys too, but I'm just saying, since we talking about
yeah, but you gotta put more effort and energy to make sure, because I mean, my girls are 2 and 4, and I'm already up. Like they won't snack.
Yeah, because we're born first, so our brothers are after us.
Right.
And I think there was a difference between how we were raised compared to our brothers. Not saying it was favoritism.
It's just a thing. It's like, I hate to say it, but it's just like, it's a sexist thing. Guys have this one thing and girls have another thing. It's like, I hate to say it, but you expect for the guy to know these things, to be the man.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like for a female, you don't want her to be just known to be a cook. Like I seen a post the other day was like, guys would be like, can you cook? And then it was like, well, you asked me, can I cook? But can you change a tire? Can you lay down some towels? Like, can you do this? That's what I'm saying about me. Like, I can cook. I can change a tire. I just mounted a TV. I just put a dresser together. Like, if you can't give me nothing in return, then what do I need you for? If I can do this on my own,
right?
What we doing?
I look at, this might sound disrespectful, but this is real life. I look at a guy as an accessory.
That's true.
But it's true. I mean,
and some guys take offense to it, but I'm like, I'm already fully prepared. I'm already fully dressed.
Boys take offense to that because a man knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, I was raised, I have strong men in my life who are like, you can be strong and you can do it on your own. So, and usually when I take a guy to meet my dad, I'm like, it's a test. And he looks like, you gotta go. So, but for me, it's just like, I want to be monogamous for a choice. I understand there are other options because I understand I don't need you. You're here because I want you to be, and I'm willing to like not be out here and belonging to the streets if you are willing to give me the same type of commitment.
Right.
And so I just think like, I hate when guys are like, well, you don't know and you don't really understand the temptation. I'm like, I do. Like, because let me tell you something, it's easier for me to get a guy right now than it is for some guys to get a girl. Like, it's just easier. I can knock on the neighbor's door like, hello, can I come in? Yes, you may. And that's not even for me to
I'm just here to borrow some brown sugar.
I was gonna say sugar. And that's not even like me to my own horn. It's just because it's just the way that people are. Like, it's easier for women. That's not even for me to sit there and be acting like I'm the baddest out here. It's just like, I have options. It's just, because I mean, homeboys some at a time, Panani ain't got no face, so.
And doesn't.
So.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Neither does that now.
It's attached.
Turn off.
No, you don't see my face. Mouth. I see lips.
In the dark, everybody looks.
Nothing here.
No, they don't. Not even the doctor knows what to say.
No, they do.
Okay.
I'm like a mole.
I don't even want to drink my drink in the moment. Because this nigga.
Because I'm drilling holes. Oh, sorry.
I pray our Lord. We're gonna make it together.
Y'all gonna be alright.
I'm so serious. I'm joining therapy with y'all, okay?
Surviving Mr. Thomas. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna be a lifetime.
But no, I think
relationship. We saw the cross.
The Lord got me through surviving Mr. Thomas.
Lord knows.
Lord knows if we didn't have it.
See, we get to go home after this and not y'all get to go home, but he's still gonna call and pester y'all and come over.
You go knock on the door, like, no.
You're like, why are you here? Go home, Cletus.
But yeah, I think though that maturity plays a part too.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody matures at different times, different ages, for different reasons.
Rates.
You know, for different reasons. I mean, you know, like for me, it took like me just lose everything. So I need to like just make some drastic changes. You know, and you know, I like to laugh and joke and stuff, but when it comes to certain things, I think that like we talk about relationships and stuff like that, it took me a while to even realize where my faults were. You know, because it's always like somebody else. I think you come to that actualization of who you are and understand your shortcomings and even your strengths and where you can work on those things, even understand where you want to be in a relationship. And then, if you know, and I think that for me, I'm just at an age like, why do I want to be with 50 different people? You know?
Because I'm going to judge you and I'm going to fight them.
Get away from my daddy!
And, you
I'm just
know,
gonna judge
and
you.
I understand that, you know, how some guys feel.
Hey, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem of why we're having this whole conversation.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not always in the back of a man's head.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? It's there. But at the same time, you know, what is it that you want? You know, and I think that's when you decide what you want, and that's how you move yourself towards that.
So I did some research of my own to try to figure out this whole relationship thing and why it's so hard. I went on a website called Ashley Madison. Some of you seem to know that. Ashley Madison is a dating site for married people to meet other married people in order to have an affair. There's 54 million members worldwide. It's quite popular. So I didn't want to meet someone and go out with anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I wanted to observe, sort of like looking into the fishbowl but not swimming with the fish. So I set up two profiles. One is a man looking for a woman, and one is a woman looking for a man. All I did was say that my name was Tom and I was tall, and as a woman I said my name was Terry and I was blonde. I didn't put up any pictures or any identifying information. And within 24 hours, as Terry, the woman, I got all these responses from men. They sent me photographs of holding fishing poles or climbing mountains or walking their dog. But what was interesting was that they all wanted a long-term affair partner. They weren't going to leave their wife, but they didn't want casual sex. They actually wanted an emotional relationship. They wanted someone to talk to. They wanted to get to know me. And they didn't want something short term, which I thought was interesting. Now, when I was Tom, I got all these pictures from women, and they were all cleavage shots. Pictures of the women in lingerie and bikinis. And they said something really interesting, too. They said they just wanted sex. They wanted to meet me after they put the kids on the school bus. They didn't want to know about my problems at work or my problems with my marriage. They said, you have a wife for that. And so they just wanted a casual relationship, and they didn't want a long-term connection.
And if you think that monogamy is not then I think the two agree on that.
Yeah.
Then that's what y'all do.
I mean, at the end of the day, people are available if they make themselves available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
just like you said, it's a choice.
It's always on both sides.
Shut up.
Opportunity
cough.
There's always opportunity on both sides. On both sides. You know what I'm saying? Probably be. I mean, I've been places where I'm like, she just do something. Yeah, you like, and I'm like, okay, I see. I mean, especially now, and it was worse when I was married. You know, it was like, I guess they saw it as a challenge. I don't know what it was, and I was in church at that time, and it was like it was available. So I don't know if it's a societal thing, if it's a way we raise thing.
I think it's a lot of factors.
I think it's all those.
You could throw a lot of shit in there.
Because like we project. Especially guys. We're around other guys. We project one thing. You know.
Women.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but it's just like that. You know, because it's like if everybody's talking, and this is all a generalization. If everybody's talking about being non-monogamous, and you don't want to talk about being monogamous, then that pressure, the spotlight is always on you. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You know, and so you want to join in, so you kind of just level the playing field, and everybody take the spotlight off of you. So sometimes you just go along with that.
So you gotta kick it.
Sometimes that's what it is. I'm not saying it's me,
but that goes back against the saying being true to yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're true to your values and you stand on what you believe in, then you're not gonna let no friend, no associate, nobody.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's some of the factors that maybe.
Yeah, I mean, peer pressure is
very
real. Like,
or if you don't have any experiences on your own, and all you know is one thing, and people introducing all these different things to you, maybe that's right too.
Also, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think it's harder for a man to be monogamous if he has a whole bunch of single friends?
Ooh. See, it's I
So
don't know.
If he in a committed long-term relationship, we'll just say, let's say married, and he got 6 homies. All 6 of them belong to the streets. Do you think hanging out with his boys add that pressure to be?
It adds the pressure.
Well, he has to know when to fall back.
Yeah, I say that. It adds to the pressure, but you have to decide, okay, this is not what I want.
Yeah, because I've encountered guys like that who were in a relationship.
It doesn't mean that I suggest if you're married, you should hang around single people all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that can at some point
you should have because
on way you think.
Because
no matter what, because I think that's our nature.
You want if we all have that common thing of being married, you know, we can actually add something to a conversation. If we're talking about something within a marital situation, you know, you can add something to it. My single friend probably couldn't add to it because he don't understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Now, it's not to say you can't have single friends. You gotta understand that balance and where is to fall back and where you know is to hang with them. Because I think like totally distancing yourself is not always right too.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I have friends that still do married, single, you know, whatever. I have all types of friends, and you know, for me now being single, and now at this part of my life, most majority of my friends are mostly married. It's kind of harder for me to hang out with them because they always doing married stuff.
They doing married activities.
You know what I'm saying?
Married couple. The couple
trips. You don't want to be that third wheel all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this ain't the third wheel dinners.
Right.
Shit.
So I understand that. But I think that, you know, it's just funny when I hear, like I was telling you about, like Corey, you know, I listen to Corey Holcomb and stuff, some of the stuff he said. And I was just like,
and I love Corey Holcomb. You can't take all his shit to heart.
Yeah,
he say some wild shit.
He say some crazy stuff. But I was like, wow, is this the gauge of how people feel? You know, because I hear him say a lot.
No, but it's a glimpse.
You know, it's like a picture of how society is today. They think that you just cannot be married. And I know, like now that people get married at older ages now, like in their 30s, versus like great grandparents, they get married in their teens, and then it went to like the early 20s. And so now you see more people getting their careers first and stuff like that.
Crazy now. Imagine if I married the nigga I was dating.
I'm like, wow. But I know even though mine didn't work out, I kind of glad I got married at an early age in some degrees. In some degree.
Because it strengthened you.
You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of
what you want, what you
I know what I want and something like that. You know.
Ain't that the pro? Us. You're welcome.
But it does when you get married at a young age, you know, and it doesn't work, you know, it lets you reevaluate yourself. Because I know after me and my ex-wife split, it made me reevaluate a lot of things of what values I stood on, what I was going to accept, what I wasn't going to accept. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that because you just kind of sometimes rush into stuff and you forget about everything else.
Right. But I think that's a good process to breaking up. I don't usually ever jump into something right after breaking up because I have to, one, get out of my feels because, you know, I'm like that solid 10 rage. And a solid 1,000 psychotic. You're saying? But I had to like go through my stages of being angry, being sad, being in denial, and then
it's a whole grief process.
Yeah, like you're mourning the loss of that relationship, and then after that, even once I'm done with that, then I have to come to terms with, okay, let's reflect on what I did, and what I tolerated for it to come to this point, so that I can, you know, do a checks and balance of myself. Right. I think a lot of times people don't do that. They go, oh, I'm lonely and or horny, so I'm gonna go into something new, and it's like you need to grieve that, and then come and look and go, where did I go wrong? Yeah, I do it every breakup, baby. Every breakup. I don't. That's like the last relationship I was in long term. Prior to being with him, I was single for over a year because I was like, I need to like do what I need to do for me.
Right.
So and then it's a lot of breaking the habits because depending on how long you were in that relationship, the last serious relationship I was in was 2 years. That's 2 years of a certain routine, a certain, you know, every Thursday is a date night. Every weekend, this is what we're doing, alternating, going to see my family, your family. There's a routine that has to be broken. So you have to take that break. And I think a lot of people don't. I just had this conversation with my brother literally this morning. Like, that's something you have to do. You can't just say, I'm going to break up with this person, then I'm going to go travel over here to Charlotte and see the next person. That's not...
That's why this quarantine came in time. I moved it right before they shut it down. God was like, clink, clink.
I don't want to go to nobody's house. Nobody's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have no opportunity because I'm not getting on no POF or no Black People Meet or swirl.com, you know. I'm not.
They got swirl.com?
I Googled it. My friend thought I was joking.
Yes. There's really a swirl.
I thought she was joking. Yes, I looked it up because my friend was just like, I'm a gay white guy. Let's see what your options are.
You know what? That's enough, though.
Well, I think nowadays
I don't have a problem with it, but it's just like.
But you got all your stuff that you got a certain like
niche.
Yeah, certain thing you want. They got that for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
they got an over like 6 foot and up.
Yeah,
6 foot and tatted. We got one of those. Let's go. We got two. We got two.
I'm about to say, wait, hold on. Because I need to know this.
6 foot and tatted.
I need to know this because I like a tall man. Fat tall man.
I like him breathing.
What?
That's it now?
No, that's up with a pulse.
Wait, hold on. That's all the qualification you got?
Apparently.
Pulse.
Apparently.
It could be a low pulse.
Oh my God. Stop. You never know when there's a cutoff. He takes it beyond.
They can be on the high shit as long as it's still
See, look, still be look.
It still be wet, man.
Again, stars.
Just beep, beep. There's a reason why I really Question
And you go get home
why?
with, boy, you ever been a chick on
And you wonder why I got
respirator?
You ever had one with an oxygen tank, boy?
Yeah, we was making love to that respirator.
Oh, you
Every time it beep beep, I was beep beep.
I'm sorry.
Get off of me! No! Get off of me! They have one for tatted men.
Hey, what is it called?
Tattedmen.com.
Tattooed men.
Like,
oh, wow.
you don't get you. They really do.
Corner junkie.
They've got one for military people, so Marines that are tagged, so military.
No, I dated a Marine. That nigga was crazy.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. I dated one too. This.
I fell asleep on the couch one time. He I was like, nope. No. He was traumatized and I had to go home. I woke him up and was like,
You
from
ready for
afar,
that
I threw something
PTSD?
at him to wake him up because I was already 50 feet away. And I was like, I'm going home.
You weren't ready for
I'll
that
talk to you.
PTSD?
I'll talk to you never. Bye. I was like, oh, no.
I need a lot of insurances to deal with this, man. I need a lot of insurances
The
to
dragon
deal with
woke
this.
me up. No.
Special brand.
No, I'm sorry.
Thank you for your service. I can't do this.
No, that time me. He's like, what? I was like, nah, bruh.
No, nothing. You continue going to your therapy. Yeah, that's what you do. All right. Well, I guess we can wrap it on up. First of all, thank you, ladies, for coming, for giving your insight and not leaving me with these two fools.
Yeah, because it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about what conversation would have been if it was just us three. So, definitely make sure you guys comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know if you think that, you can be monogamous in a relationship or your reasons why. We would love to hear from it. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing, and hit the subscribe button to the page. Why are you licking your solo cup? What is it?
It felt like a real glorious moment.
Anyway.
Another episode.
Anyway, make sure you guys are catching up on the rest of the episodes. Y'all ain't got nothing else better to do. You're quarantined.
And don't forget about the different platforms we on.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you're looking at all the different
And when
platforms.
we gonna make it on the Black Planet?
It's coming soon.
He's gonna get it low.
So, in case y'all didn't know, we are now on for all my Google and Apple Play. Y'all can look up both, but we are on.
MySpace still kicking?
No, nigga.
I would know. I'm not in touch.
Yeah, I see.
I'm out of touch. My shit's been gone for years.
Bruh,
That's
gone.
I was just asking.
No, MySpace.
I used to customize the pages.
You think Bebo's still there too? You think Bebo's still there too?
I ain't never heard that.
Oh, that's real old.
Bebo was catfish.
Yeah, that was catfish central.
I never got catfish, but I had friends that were catfishing niggas.
I got catfish off of that one.
Exactly how it's
Bebo.
Bebo.
I'm gonna go look at because I ain't know about that one.
Look at it up, nigga.
It's
no longer there.
Yeah, but when the Peter might give me like a history lesson and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all make sure you check out our other platforms. We are on.
I ain't gonna give
Too late. We already did. We are now on Spotify. You can search us. Everything you can search us at I Often Wonder or I Often Wonder 19. So make sure you are subscribed to everything: Spotify, Google Play, Radiocast, Breaker, Instagram, I Often Wonder, YouTube, I Often Wonder, Facebook, I Often
Black Planet, yeah.
No, we're not. Facebook, I Often Wonder 19. Make sure that you are on
MySpace,
all of our
Tom,
stuff.
my homeboy, we coming.
No, Tom said he was no longer doing that. He moved on to bigger and better things.
You got mail, AOL?
And
I am on
dial up.
Right, Skype. Nobody does that anymore.
How old? 32?
Right, he's really making, because he's 2 years older than me. I feel real.
I'm not gonna be that out of touch at 32.
Just
Okay, I'll put it to
pray
you.
for him.
The last 5 years I've been out of touch. Like chasing around my kids.
The way that you're talking, it's been the last 10
Your
years.
kids don't know nothing about none of that. So
Not really.
he know about Baby Shark and stuff. You know.
they wore that shit the fuck out.
My child will never, ever.
Nah, I tried to keep it away from as long as they could.
It away from continue to keep
Lord.
And hopefully by the time you become baby
Then they got a hold of Frozen. I'm like,
oh my gosh, Frozen.
Let it go.
nah, see, yeah, no.
Okay. She know the words.
Now, Happy Feet, I was cool with them jumping on Happy Feet because, you know, Happy Feet was dope.
Listen, they not watching nothing post Disney 2001. None of my kids, they not gonna know nothing else.
I ain't put them on game yet. I ain't put them on to like the original.
They know Lion King. Oh my gosh.
I ain't put them. Cause they stuck on like document stuffings and.
Document stuffings don't know nothing about Simba.
Well, I know that.
Get that out of here.
Sesame Street.
Nah.
My son loves Sesame Street.
Nah, they on Mickey Mouse and the Funhouse Club.
My son watch Sesame Street every morning. He hear Elmo, he go.
Yeah, Elmo be on commercials.
That's
Elmo be on commercials. Come back. Wait, that's my whole thing right there.
We are signing off. I'm your girl.
Oh, we ain't
Alexis.
signing off yet? Oh.
No, we had it. We just got off a tangent. I'm your girl Alexis, aka Black Barbara Walters. And that
It's that new.
And the niggas' children.
We out. See y'all later.